Although I almost got into a few fights while I was in school, I never actually did get into a fight until my junior year of high school. At this time, I had been dating this girl for about 6 months. We had had our ups and downs, but never had that big of a problem until this point. There was a friend of hers that was also her ex. At that time, I didn't see a problem with this, even though my girlfriend was always telling me about how he didn't like me and always wanted to fight me. I didn't find this unusual because the kid was a punk that wanted to fight everybody he came across. One day in class, he messaged me, "Dude, your girlfriend sucked my dick," or some asshole comment like that. I didn't think much of it. I just ignored him. Then he messaged me again. "Nah, bro, your girlfriend literally sucked my dick." Once again, I pushed it aside, but I did message my girlfriend telling her that her friend's messaging me saying some really dumb shit, with which she asked what I was talking about. When I told her, she replied, "Oh," and didn't say anything else. My heart immediately sunk, thinking about the possibility of this being true. Like I said, we've had our problems, but I never figured that she would do anything to hurt me. But I had a really bad feeling about this one, so I messaged her, "Be honest with me, did you?" To which she took a while to reply, but when she did, she only told me that she was sorry. At this point, my body immediately flowed with anger, the most angry I can remember being. I told myself to calm down and just sit there, but I couldn't. The more I sat there, the more anger flowed through me, at the point where I couldn't sit. My original plan was to just go to the teacher and ask if I could go clear my head in the hallway, but instead I got up angrily, pushed my desk as I did so, went up to the teacher, and the words, "I'm fucking pissed," slipped through my lips. Right as I came up to her desk, which she looked quite scared about, but took it surprisingly well and told me to go clear my head in the hallway. When I left the room, I ended up walking the hallways and down 2 flights of stairs before I could even ask myself what I was doing. But as soon as I got to the entrance of the school, I knew immediately what I was going to do. During my lunch breaks, I spent most of my time with my girlfriend in this alley a block away from the high school. Over there, my girlfriend and I sold and smoked weed. I knew right away that's where I would find the asshole that was bragging about how my girlfriend cheated on me with him. I go outside. I saw this guy that I recognized as the kid's friend, so I went up to him, still angry as hell, and pretty much yelled, "Where is he?" And the kid happily told me that he was at Smoker's Alley, which I thought was weird. He would just throw his friend under the bus. He probably knew exactly what happened, but didn't care for his buddy. When I got to the alley, I immediately saw the kid, and his face lost all color when he saw me. I'm not the kind of guy who just starts randomly beating up somebody. Although he knew why I was there, I wanted to make my intentions completely clear, so I yelled about him about cheating on my girlfriend. Which he cowered and told me that he didn't even know we were dating until today. I called his bluff, and as I was fast approaching him, I knew that it was clear to everybody why I was there. He cornered himself against a shed and kept telling me that he didn't want to fight and that he wasn't going to hit me back, but I really didn't care about all that. I just started punching him in the head and bouncing his head off the shed. He kept saying that he wouldn't fight me, and I kept yelling at him that I didn't care, but I was still gonna keep fighting him. After taking about 10 punches from me, he ducked, got out of the corner, pushed me into the shed, and ran away. As I chased him, he repeatedly yelled about not wanting to fight me. I went back to class. My girlfriend just kept texting me about how sorry she was. I just ignored her. Then she messaged me about how this guy wanted to have an actual fight with me, so I messaged him and told him that I accepted. We lived a few blocks away from each other, so I decided to meet up at this school that was in between where we both lived. After school, a few people came up and talked to me about the fight, which I wasn't in the mood to talk about it, but another girl came up and told me right before I threw my first punch, either one of two things happened to her. Either the guy I was fighting pushed her out of the way, or I did. I was so in the zone that I must have actually done that without thinking about it. I apologized to her, but she laughed it off and told me that she shouldn't have been right in the middle of the fight and that she wasn't even hurt. We laughed about that for a little before I walked home. Later that night, I invited my friend who had pepper spray over to the fight in case anything happens, like several guys try and jump me, which wouldn't have surprised me because this kid was cheap and was actually known to do that in the past. I would suggest that anybody who's getting into a fight bring someone along because you never know what's going to happen in a fight. When the guy came along, he brought two of his friends, one of which I had classes with, and the other guy was the same guy that threw him under the bus and told me where he was originally. The thing about this guy is that he had a lot of fat on him, so although I was 160, he was about 260 and could easily overpower me, which he did when the fight started, by tackling me to the ground, getting on top of me, and putting me in a chokehold in the first 10 seconds of the fight. I was nearly out of it. I was actually about to signal my friend to use the pepper spray because I didn't think this guy was going to stop when I passed out. I closed my eyes for a second, but opened them back up and had a rush of adrenaline, so I started swinging my elbows frantically until I felt them hit something hard, which I knew was his head. So I continued that until he let go. Once I got back up, the fight resumed. I can't remember much, but from what everyone was telling me, I hit him with a few decent punches and took a few hard ones from him until he knocked me to the ground, started punching the hell out of my head, and I knew that it was over with. I was mentally done with the fight, feeling miserable and knowing that I can't get back up from this. And physically, I was concussed and knew that I should call the fight off, so I did so. And in a weird twist, when he went to shake my hand, I actually hugged him, which was weird because I have no respect for the kid, what he did to me, and what he's done to people in the past. Him and his buddies left, and I was lying in the grass with my friend, waiting for her sister to pick us up. When she did so, I decided that I wanted to hang out with my friend at her place, but instead her sister told me that I had to go shopping, which is pretty fucked up because I'm already concussed and bruised my face, and she wants me to go with her shopping, so I did so. Probably one of the weirdest things that you could do right after a fight when you're concussed, bloody, and got bruises all over your face. When we got done shopping, I went to their place. At this point, my head was throbbing worse than it was before. Not long after getting there, I told her that I wanted to go home. I went home, and I thought I remember talking to one of my parents about the fight, and them being angry at me, but I was in another place, trying to convince them I didn't have a concussion. Later that night, my girlfriend messaged me apologizing for everything, and instead of breaking up with her, I forgave her because I was already in a lonely spot in my mind and coming off of a loss and didn't want to lose her. I didn't think that she would do it again. Spoiler alert, she did. One of these days, I'd like to find the video and analyze the fight I had in the moment. I doubt any good strategy was in that fight, just swinging for the fences. I've gotten a hold of a few people who told me that they had it, but they couldn't find it. So somewhere out there, it's lost in the abyss of Facebook, Snapchat, and maybe even a few other places, just waiting for somebody to dig it up. In the future, I'm sure I'd probably be willing to put forth a good bit of money for anyone who could find the video, but for right now, still broke. Thank you for watching the video. Remember to like and subscribe. Until next time.